Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm playing with this deck that, if you have been keeping up, has become one of my favorite decks. It's got the Goblin Demolisher here, which is absolutely a perfect pair with the Ram Rider. It's got recruits. I don't think the evil recruits are worth it unless you don't have any other evolutions and you want an evolution. So we're just going to go with the Goblin Cage here. Goblin Cage is an amazing option for defense, especially if you have the evolution. Just a really overall solid option here. So Inferno Dragon is going to melt through that Goblin or the Goblin Brawler, but we're going to go with the Demolisher up here. That should be able to kite everything over and should be pretty solid in terms of defending that Golden Knight. And if he chooses to pop that ability, which he might, I'm going to throw this down here. Executioner will do an okay job pushing back that Ram Rider and minimizing the amount of damage that it's going to give up. So all in all, really solid. We will come out of that, up. So really good. It looks like we're going up against Mega Knight Ram Rider with the Inferno Dragon. So this is going to be a really interesting matchup. Obviously, I'm going to try and save the Goblin Cage for the Ram Rider. And that's going to be probably the recipe for success here. We'll go Ram Rider here since he dropped his Inferno Dragon in the back. He might get to his Mega Knight in time. And it's going to be the Evolution Mega Knight. So this is going to be really interesting here on this defense. I'm just going to chill out with the recruits here. We'll go Goblin Demolisher because we'll probably need it. And he's going to go with the Poison, which I'm a little surprised about. I'm going to go with the E-Spirit here. Should be able to bring that back and get that to lock onto the Goblin Demolisher. So we might take that jump from the Mega Knight. We don't, which is nice, of course, but if we took that, that would have been fine. I want to save this Goblin Demolisher for that Ram Rider, and he just gave up his Poison, so we should be fine to do this here. I'm going to go Ram Rider way in the back, and then I'm going to go Recruits here, and we should have enough time to go for the Goblin Cage here. Assuming his Ram Rider is able to break on through. Yeah, we're able to yoink that in, which is really nice. We'll go with the Demolisher here afterwards. A little bit too far, but that's fine because we have that in case, this happens. So the Brawler will be able to lock onto that, which is nice. Let's go with the Log here. We'll go with the Executioner. We'll go with our own Ram Rider here. We can go with the E-Spirit as well, but we're probably not even going to need it, which is really nice. Let's go Demolisher up high. As you can see, with the benefit of rocking the recruits, even if, they're not as dominant as before, you're able to damage down that right side as well. And basically open up your offense to either side. And we can just probably go with a Log here. Log is a great option if you see a lot of Ram Rider instead of Barb Barrel. Our opponent's going to just go in right here. So I think we're going to go with the Cage here. Make him want to focus a little bit more on defense first. And then we should be fine here. We'll go with the Demolisher afterwards. I'm surprised he's not popping his abilities. Pretty good discipline on our opponent's end. But we should be good here. Kind of cleaning everything up the way that we are. We can go with the E-Spirit here. We'll go with the Ram Rider on this side. See if we can maybe throw him off a little bit. He is going to be back to his Mega Knight, but he dropped it way too early and forcing him to go with the Snowball as well as that Ram Rider. We will get that connection, which is perfect. And let's get a Goblin Cage ready here on defense. So we're going to go Goblin Cage. And, ooh, his Ram Rider snuck on through. That really sucks. Sometimes that happens. But we're going to get a Ram Rider going here as well as a set of arrows because we'll probably need it to help take out that E-Wiz, maybe allow us to get onto tower for a hit, which would be nice, but it looks like that's not going to happen, which is fine. We can go with the Cage here. Our opponent's trying a little bit of split lane pressure himself. Let's go with the Goblin Demolisher up high. Just another amazing option here, just to be able to kite as well. We can probably start cycling to spell cycle our opponent out here. So we just need to get back to another set of arrows, and I think Log. We might be fine there. Let's go with the Cage. We're just going to cycle this. And we're going to do this here. And overall, we are going to be able to secure this win. Really solid stuff playing to the very end. That Log wouldn't have sealed it, but all in all, really solid. The defense is absolutely amazing with the help of the Executioner and the Goblin Cage, especially if both of them are the Evo. Obviously, the recruits are going to give you split lane pressure without even really meaning to. So good game, well played. Let's get on to another. All right, next match here, keeping things going. And we can start out with just the E-Spirit. Mine is level 14. Totally makes sense if you want a level 15. I just want to minimize the amount of King Tower activations I give. It really does hamper the effectiveness of the deck. We'll go Demolisher here as he goes with the Hunter. I'm thinking RG, pretty common here. Yeah, there is the Fisherman plus the Hunter. This should be great. He's actually able to save his Hunter, which is wild. Alright, so he gave up his Fisherman. I should be able to go Ram Rider, especially since he went with the Monk as well. So he might have Rogue Ghost here. That's probably going to be one of his better options. Or just cycle back to a Hunter there. That makes sense as well. So he's going to be able to defend that. We're obviously just going to go for the E-Spirit here. Unless he does something like that. I'm going to go with the E-Spirit. Should be able to clean this up pretty nicely. Just because of the timing, he was able to get some extra chip damage on our tower there. But we're going to go with the Goblin Demolisher here, see what he's got. Typically, they won't have anything great in terms of defending. So we're going to force out the Evil Hunter, which is very, very nice. Obviously means he can't use that on offense, and he doesn't have that for the Ram Rider. Obviously, we need to get the recruits going because the Fisherman is definitely going to be a problem. So we're just going to go for the recruits here. This is a gamble because if he goes Roll Giant right at the bridge at that moment, definitely would be a problem. But he's going to go for the Monk in the back right as we dropped it, so it's going to work out perfectly. We're going to get the Ram Rider going right now. And we should be in an okay spot. Yeah, there's that Hunter. Really, really pesky Hunter, of course. Arrows that down, keep some of the recruits alive maybe. Just to get some extra chip damage on that side. He's going to go for that. So we're going to go with the Cage here. Should be able to clean that up. Really nice here. Executioner is going to turn around still, kind of help clean up that RG. So we're going to go with the recruits here. Again, with the theme of this deck, especially in a situation like this, is to continue to just overwhelm the opponent. He gave up his Hunter, which is great. He's going to go Fisherman, which is interesting. So he's just going to pull it closer, get directly on tower, which is nice. We get an extra hit off. So we got to be careful about this now. We're going to go Executioner here. And yeah, that makes sense. We're going to go with the Cage. We'll go Demolisher here. That should be able to yoink that in, at least provide us with some damage. We'll go with Log as well, prevent an extra damage from that RG. And we're going to go with the Ram Rider here. And I'm just going to go ahead and arrows this down. Hopefully be able to take out that Hunter. That Hunter did not snare in time, allowing our Ram Rider on through, and the Executioner throwing his axe to finish things up. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another one. All right, next match here. Keeping things going. We can get a Ram Rider going or a Demolisher, depending on how he wants to play this. We're just going to go with the Demolisher here. Seeing that, it's going to be a Psycho deck for sure. Now it's going to be a question of whether it's going to be a Siege deck or something like that. Seeing that, I feel like it's going to be Expo. Definitely feeling like it could be Expo. I just need to see a Tesla. Or, okay, so it's not going to be Expo. We're going to go Ram Rider here. We have arrows ready in case he drops a building here. And we can maybe arrows down that Firecracker as well as anything else and chip that cannon. Ram Rider does get that connection off, which is really nice. Now let's get something going for this. I'm going to go E-Spirit up high, and that should be able to counter the rest of that Valkyrie. So if it's going to be Hog Rider, Goblin Cage right here is going to be perfect. And we can only rely on that so much because obviously eventually he's just going to drop Firecracker behind it. So Brawler should help kind of clean up that Hog Rider before it gets a hit off. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. We need to get an Executioner going as well because that Executioner is going to be critical to defend, different waves of the Hog Rider. So let's do this here. We have Ram Rider as well. That should give us a King Tower activation, which I'll take happily. And he's going to get a lot of damage off of that, but I think it's worth it. maybe. Anyways, we're gonna get the recruits going here. He doesn't have Firecracker for probably another 2 cards. I don't know if I want to be pushing opposite lane here, but let's go with the Demolisher. He doesn't really have anything else that's really threatening. So we're just gonna go for the Ram Rider after the fact. And where is that Firecracker? Oh, he's just gonna offer that. That is interesting for sure. Well, that's actually gonna work out big time for him. That's so unfortunate that it worked out like that. Worked out well for him, didn't work out as well for us. So let's get an Executioner going here. We're just gonna arrows this down. That is gonna push that closer to him, unfortunately. Let's go with the log here. Should be able to clip that cannon, allowing our Ram Rider on through afterwards. We're pushing that Valkyrie back, allowing our Ram Rider to do its thing, which is really nice there. We can just go for the Goblin Demolisher as well. We're probably gonna have to go for the cage and then maybe just predict arrows. But we're gonna go for the recruits here. Our opponent's gonna go in for the fireball. He's gonna go in for the log too. Okay, so we know we don't have to worry about that. We're gonna arrows that down. He's gonna have to drop that cannon last second. Gonna arrows, or we're gonna log this. Help our Ram Rider hopefully get onto tower. It doesn't quite get on tower, which is really unfortunate that it worked out that way. Let's go with a Demolisher here. He's just gonna keep fireballing it, but that's gonna free up our Executioner afterwards. Yeah, there's that fireball. So he's not going in on offense here, but we can go in for arrows. He does have that that Valkyrie, which is going to be a problem, of course. We're gonna go in for this log here. Should be able to clean that up. Now things are getting a little bit dicey here. We're gonna go for this Goblin Cage. Go for the recruits afterwards. We have that King Tower activation, so hopefully we only give up 1 hit. That keeps us in the game still. We're gonna go for the Ram Rider now. Now let's get arrows going for this. We're gonna go for the log as well. Nice, our Ram Rider does make that connection. Brawler gets on tower as well, and that right there is going to be good game, well played. So as you can see, that's all you need to do to make something like that, you know, happen. And even though we were down a decent amount, we were able to come out with a win. Good game, well played. Let's get on to another one. All right, next match here, keeping things going. And again, just cycle with the E-Spirit, always a great option. Our opponent's going to go with a Goblin Giant, so let's go with a cage here. It's probably going to be Goblin Giant with the Sparky. Now the question is whether he's got, if he's got anything else heavy that kind of typically comes with that. I'm just going to go recruits here. If he's got Sparky, he's got Sparky. We'll figure out a way around it. But he's going to have a lot to contend with here, especially on that left side. So we're going to go Ram Rider on this side. And again, building that inadvertent, you know, split lane pressure because of with the help of the recruits, it's going to be absolutely massive. He's going to go for a pretty solid defense, actually. Can't blame him going with that. Let's go with the log here. Hopefully he doesn't have Sparky ready. I'm just going to arrows this down. I don't want to take that extra damage just for a King Tower, especially with the Goblin gang. So would be a little bit too much for my liking. So Goblin Demolisher is going to be absolutely great here because you can drop it right on top of the Sparky, deal extra damage to that Sparky while also, you know, forcing out an extra hit from that Sparky. I'm going to go with the E-Spirit here. Should be able to take out those skeletons, allowing our Demolisher or our cage to do its thing against that Goblin Giant. So this should be great. We're going to go Demolisher here and see if we can get something out of him that's good on that left side. Maybe E-Wiz or something. Unless he's just going to take the damage, which is wild if he did. I'm going to go for the Executioner here. Demolisher should do a great job against that. I'm just going to go ahead and log that actually. Allowing our Demolisher straight on through. Let's go with the cage here. I would have gone with my Ram Rider, but I kind of want to hang on to my Ram Rider here. So I'm going to go for the recruits here. He's got rage for sure. I'm just going to go with the E-Spirit. Should be a cheap option to clean up those skeletons. Great choice there. And now we can get probably the Demolisher going. I don't see a Sparky quite yet, and I'm very surprised. This should be a really solid option, taking out that mini P.E.K.K.A for us. So forcing out a mirror mini P.E.K.K.A. That's a really interesting deck that he's got. Not something that I would have expected. Let's go with the log here. We'll get something like this going. We'll go with the E-Spirit here. Should be able to stun all of that, which is nice. We're going to go for a log here afterwards, clean that up. We need to take out that Firecracker because it's just getting really agitating to deal with. And the Demolisher might do that, or the Brawler. One of them will do that for us. Really, really great here. So let's go with the Cage. I'm going to go with the Recruits. It doesn't look like he's got Sparky, and I think he's played all 8 of his cards. So I am more than happy to do this here. Oh, wow. There's going to be a lot here. We're going to go with the arrows afterwards. He's going to go double Mini P.E.K.K.A. and watch it get absolutely demolished by everything. And we still get a connection off on that tower. Really, really nice. We're just going to go with the Demolisher here in the back. We get a few stabs off still, which is nice. Let's go with the log here. We're slowly but surely chipping away at our opponent. Let's go with the Recruits. Our opponent's got Lightning. There was his 8th card. We can just hang on here for a second and just chill out. I'm just going to go ahead and arrows this because I really don't want to deal with an extra Firecracker if I don't have to. Our opponent's going to give up a lot of damage on that left side. I don't blame him. There's not much else he could do. Let's go with the Cage here. We'll go with the Recruits afterwards. And obviously need to clean up those skeletons because that's going to be really annoying if not. Let's go with the arrows here on that evil Firecracker, cleaning that up, forcing him to drop something else. We can go with another Demolisher here after that gets taken out, and then we can go Ram Rider right behind this. He's going to have a lot to contend with right here. We'll go with a log as well, pushing that back a decent amount, allowing our Ram Rider to charge on through and forcing out the E-Wiz. So again, because we don't have a super heavy deck, or a heavy spell to rock with in this deck, we have to be super careful here. We're going to arrows this down. We're not able to easily, you know, spell cycle and whatnot as we would like to probably. Let's go with the Cage here. Probably didn't even need it because we just tore through his defense. Our opponent can do nothing but cry here. We're going to go for the log and we're going to arrows this down. Good game, well played. So as you can see with this deck so far, very, very much so focus on that defense. Beef up that defense and have a massive counter push where you can use your Demolisher and your Ram Rider to help you with your win. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.